Hi everyone, my name is Glamrat and welcome to the first episode of In the Sewers. In this YouTube series, I'm going to be talking to bands of varying genres of rock about what they've got going on in their musical lives, how they started, how they didn't, and just having a bit of a general chit chat about things. We're coming up with some amazing stuff and I can't wait to share it with you all. In today's episode, I am talking to the frontman of the London-based rock band Ransom. Now, Matt is a very charismatic man. He is also an author. He has committed 3 musical sins, which we do talk about in this episode. And yeah, he's just an all-round fun guy. That's enough of me talking. Let's crack on. Here is me and Matt having a good old chat. Well, hello, Matt. How are you doing, my love? You all right?
It's just an honour to be with the Glamrat. Yes, I'm absolutely fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear. It has been a very long time since we've had a nice little chat, haven't we?
Yes, it's been a while. I think the last time was when we couldn't go anywhere during lockdown, where the world was a different place, wasn't it?
It was 2020 when the world stopped. There was nothing going on.
That's it. Yeah.
Not a lot going on, but you guys had plenty going on. So why don't you introduce yourself to everybody? Because I know who you are, but everybody else needs to know about Ransom.
Yes. Well, it's a romantic story. Once upon a time, there was a covers band playing a lot of gigs every weekend, and then we couldn't play anywhere, so we had to think of something to do. So under the covert actions of darkness, we decided to record some songs of our own, and it just kind of snowballed from there, really. We could actually play and write. I mean, who knew? And so from then on, it just snowballed, just started playing things. And, because we're, a very tight sort of unit, we sort of found that the transition was a lot easier than we actually thought, and that we actually were quite good. That's the shocking thing.
You did all right. You didn't do too bad.
Yeah, we didn't do too bad. We got a lot of very exciting things happening next year, which I'm not there to talk about as usual. But it's.
Oh well, I'll stop right now. I'll go home then. I'll see you.
Yeah, there's no point in carrying this interview anymore. Might let slip 1 or 2 little things, but there we go.
Oh well, we'll be waiting. But you guys had a album called Back to the Boozer, which was crowdfunded by your lovely loyal fans. You guys are absolutely mental.
Yeah, no, it was really nice. We did the first one, which was Lockdown in London, and I think we didn't realise what lovely friends, family, and people out there were missing live music. I think could be any band that did it, just happened to be us. And that went really well. And then we attracted the attention of the one named Mr. Neil Kay. I think he heard the sort of Maiden sounding guitars and thought he had his hands on another Maiden or whatever. But we got so many different ideas because we play a lot of cover stuff that we could probably do different things and different sounds. And it all really comes from Dave and Zach, who are father and son. And they're incredible musicians, incredibly talented. And they would create the songs in their shed upstairs floor, and then I'd get this sort of piece of music over on a Sunday night, gleefully waiting all weekend for it. And I'd sit up with a bottle of whiskey, the old Bon Scott way, and I'd wax lyrical about whatever was going on in the world or whatever was on my mind at the time. And by the morning, I'd have something, and then we just together would work on it as a song. And Zach, who'd been at ACM Guildford, had done a course in production, so just started to produce the stuff. It was just amazing where it went, and some very fond memories when I look back now. I get quite emotional sometimes about think about the journey itself and where we've been and where we've played and where we still play, and we still love playing the pubs, and we play in front of real people. Yeah. Anyone that sort of knocks that doesn't really understand what music is about. Music is, or should be, about entertainment, and that should be first thing. And you shouldn't think yourself bigger and better than anyone else. You should just go out there and play and be grateful that anyone is actually bothered to come and see you play.
Yeah, because that's the thing. You guys started off really just before lockdown, and then obviously the whole world just went on its ass, really, didn't it? Everything just went a bit upside down and inside out. But you guys still managed to create Back to the Boozer, which was great. And it's a lot of fun. And like you said, you lyrically, you were kind of saying what you were on your mind. So you spoke to people on different levels, or I felt like you did when I listened to it.
That's good to hear. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I think the art of communication. And I did DJ kids parties for about 12 years, and I learned a lot. Kids are like a blank canvas. You can tell them anything, but just for 2 hours on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon or whatever, they were yours, and you could make them, just let go and forget about whatever's. And I kind of brought that into the writing as well, in trying to create images and things that are on my mind and create pictures in people's heads. And I think if you take yourself too seriously, I see it all the time. And social media isn't real. It's fun, it's a laugh, and it's a good way of connecting people. But it's not real. It's not real life.
No.
But there are a lot of lonely people out there, and what with all that went on and the fear of where we were, and everyone really not knowing, and all the media controlling everything, and you're thinking, well, if you can get some way out to do something that's a bit tongue in cheek, a bit fun, but also has a kind of a message, then I think people will connect to it. They will come to it. And I think it wasn't until I walked across the field at Call the Wild, I didn't realise the impact it had on so many people I'd never met before. Just as you know, you were there, but I walked across and people come up to me wanting photographs with me, and I just it really hit me. It was like all my life, 42 years. I mean, getting nowhere, and just suddenly we're doing this thing with Ransom, and we went on stage. And I remember we played in a packed tent in the middle of the afternoon. It was the hottest day of the year.
It was the hottest day of the year. It was so warm in there. It was unreal. Very, very hot.
It was great, and it filled up. And I just had that moment. It just reduced me to a little tear. I just thought, well, if you can connect with people like that and you've never met them before, I think everyone has a role to play in that, in bringing people together. Rock and roll to me is entertainment, and it's about unity, and it's about, doesn't matter what colour you are, what creed you are, where you live. If I can write something with a band, if we can play a gig or something that resonates, that someone can feel something and feel part of and feel connected to, and that's what it's about for me.
Yeah, because you always exude this energy from when you're on stage. You were just alive. You're manic, but you enjoy the moment that you're in, and that is infectious, I think. And it is, believe me. You guys have a tagline called "Just Another Pub Band," aren't you?
Yeah. There is a story about that. It's more about when people, again, can have what they like. They can have their own opinions on whatever it is. But the bottom line is, it doesn't really matter. It's not that important. What's important is that people come and just let go for 2 hours. It's like the referee that looks after a football match. No one remembers his name if he's let the game flow. We just kind of provide the entertainment. And to sneer at pubs and to say, so I think I said at the beginning, is it's the wrong thing to do. You should be grateful anybody comes out to see you wherever they are. If someone says, "Oh, you sound like a pub band," we thought it was quite funny, because they're missing the point of what it's about. It's about, if you can walk into a pub, or if you can sit around a campfire and strum a guitar and people sing along with you, then you rule the world. That's as simple as that, really.
You made music. You're there. You're done.
Yeah, totally. And going back to what you said about being infectious, you're a very infectious character. I mean, I'd seen your post before I'd even spoken to you, and I thought you were amazing. And you've got this bubbly energy which rubs off on people, and I'm drawn to people like that anyway. And I think it's great what you do. I think congratulations on your graduation as well. That's a hell of a thing to achieve.
I've got a 50 grand bit of paper. That's why I've got a 50 grand bit of paper to say, yes, I can do this properly. But no, it's music is that. I'm the same as you. I always feel like music does connect people, and when people take it all so seriously, like the gatekeepers that you get, it can get a bit like, oh, come on, just enjoy it and just be happy at the fact that people are enjoying your music. I like all genres of rock music. It doesn't bother me. As long as it's got a beat and I can dance to it or sing to it or I like it, I'm not fussed, me.
I think you're absolutely right, and you're perfect for that thing. And you listen to music that you weren't even around, perhaps when it was coming out or whatever, but it connects with you. I think you have to enjoy every moment. You have to be grateful, and if someone else makes it, be happy for them. Don't be jealous. If someone gets on stage, don't have a little snidey comment or look for be grateful. They've done well. They're all working hard. I wish everybody. There's enough room for everybody. It's communist rock and roll. Everyone can be famous.
Communist rock and roll. I like it. That's great. We all share equally. What we put in is what we get out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I'm happy. And a lot of people have gone, and that's why I did the interviews that I did. I wanted to champion people that I thought a lot of and had a story to tell. I wanted to share that.
I know, because you guys also did the thing that people tend to get a bit scared about. You released a Christmas single.
I think it was the best Christmas song ever. I don't care anyone
says.
Every year. I'm proud of it. I was talking to someone on holiday. Where was it? A couple of years ago, and I played him the song, and I won't mention it because he's quite well known. And he said, how was that not number one? He said, that is without doubt the finest Christmas song I ever heard. It's funny, it's catchy. And again, how come Justin Hawkins, can get away with singing about bellends, but I can't sing about Santa's bulging sacks? Do you know what I'm saying? Come on, it's funny enough. He was the first person to come up to me after HRH and shook my hand and said, "Well, what a great gig!"
Yeah.
Well, the first one we played, which was lovely.
I was thinking about this, like sometimes, like you said, when bands take themselves seriously and things like that, they tend to forget like the fun things. Like every band used to do a Christmas song. Like you got Slade, you got Wizards, you got all of them greats. They all did a Christmas song. So why doesn't the industry do more of that, especially rock bands?
Listen, I've done the three things that they say you should never do. I wrote an England football song that was for the Royal Marsden Hospital because that's where I was working at the time. I've done an entry for Eurovision called United Kingdom of Rock, which nearly got the gig. Funnily enough, that's in the book. That was quite funny if we got that.
Right.
But the three
Please try
things
it
that you
again.
should never do, and I've done all three, and I've been part of them, and I'm proud of every one of them. And as I said, let other people worry about what you should and shouldn't do, and I'll just carry on with having fun and enjoying my life.
Yeah, why not? Because that's the thing. You're just such a big kid, and you're always full of energy. Like no matter where I see you, you're just there. You're just full of energy, which is great. So, have you guys got anything exciting planned? Because you've had Back to the Boozer, you've had a Christmas Ding Dong Dooley. So what else?
Yeah.
You
Well,
must
yeah,
have
we have
something.
actually. We have. We're working on some new material, and we're only going to do them sort of two at a time. We don't see the point until some record label decides to actually realise that we are not bad and come forward and get behind us, and not the kind of 2-bit things that we do get offered. We carry on doing our own. I mean, there's not. What's the point? So we've got some songs we're working on, and one of them might be a very alternative sort of part of the Christmas song. It's a song, something about the Pope said last year or a year and a half ago, where he said, "Even nuns watch porn," and this kind of stuck with me, being a Catholic boy growing up. So I started writing lyrics anyway, and then Dave and Zach came up with this great riff, and we were just jamming it in the studio. And Zippy, our drummer, who's like, he's unbelievable. He's on. I've never known a drummer like him. He's on it. I started jamming these lyrics, and they work. I thought, well, we got to do this. And I found I was interviewed at Call a While. They were doing an interview for someone on there, and I mentioned that I was going to do this song and the title, and all the press people just turned around and were laughing.
Why not?
To get out.
Just see who else you can annoy.
Yeah.
Go and wind someone up.
One. Always try and do a different side of the band, but they'll all sound like Ransom songs.
Well, that's amazing. That's all we want. We want it to be just that bit of Ransom. I love it. It's just so cool. I just love it. I just think it's great. The whole vibe and stuff that you get from it. And like you said, there's quite a lot of people that tend to look down on pub bands, but it bewilders me because it's like every band started somewhere. Metallica didn't just start out in big stages.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
They'll learn. Everyone learns the hard way.
You've just been on a jolly holiday. Did you go anywhere nice?
But Czech Republic, yeah, we went to the mountains, but there's quite a few. I was actually supposed to go. I had a guest pass, press pass to go to the Rock Castle concert. I was going to go down there and check out all my friends, but it didn't quite happen because I got up in the morning, had a beer, and I thought, I don't fancy it. It's about a 5-hour drive or something. I thought something else than that. But I came back, and my plane, EasyJet plane, was stuck on the tarmac for 3 hours, and they can't serve you alcohol. Hey. So I just had a lot. I just went off and sort of, chatted with the air stewardesses as you do, and I managed to get a glass of clear something that looked like water.
You got a refreshing bottle of H2O something.
Yeah, that's what I think it was. That it was quite a strong bottle of water, but it was
pretty nice.
That's called a win. That's called a win.
It's called a win. And not only are you a very talented frontman, a very charismatic man, but you're also a very literate man as well. You like to write books.
Yeah. Well, I mean, punctuation, young man. Punctuation. I'm going to focus on Howard. He helps me out sometimes. I do. I've always been a bit of a writer. I love writing lyrics. I'm a wordsman. Lyrics come to me quite easy. I don't know where I get it from actually, but I do. But my brother-in-law, my sister's married to Chris Difford of Squeeze, so I'm not even the most talented poet in my own family. But I write a lot of lyrics, and I wanted to write a book to tell a story because I had a story to tell. and I thought it was relevant to a lot of the people. A lot of people don't realise I turned 60 next year. I've been in this a very long time, 42 years, and I'm not ashamed of that. I'm still 18 at heart, and I still put some of these 20-year-olds something's to shame. And
hey, I can't run around like you do. Jesus Christ. No, I'm good now, me. I get knackered just watching you, let alone running around.
I played tennis with a young man 30 years younger, drew one set. Well, I was a match point as well. I would have won it if it wouldn't have been for a dodgy line call. I'm not saying any more about that. Anyway, to do it in a funny way. It was self-deprecating, where I'm the bloke that comes out of it like an idiot and a joke, and everyone else comes out of it smelling of roses. And that's kind of, I think a lot of people have taken it on holiday with them and really enjoyed it. I had some lovely, lovely comments about it. People have laughed, and I put the hook line, take me on holiday with you this summer, you know.
Yeah, your book's really well travelled by social media standards. I
Yeah,
see it on the beach here, it's on a bar there, it's everywhere. Your book.
The Killing Fields, it's been there. It's been to Melbourne. It's been to Arkansas. It's been to South America. It's been everywhere.
Hey everyone, sorry to interrupt the interview mid-flow. I just wanted to say, if you like this episode and you want to see more, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button down at the bottom of the page. And if you want to be the first to see the brand new episode of In the Sewers, then don't forget to ding that little old bell. So come on everybody, ring my bell and let's get back to it.
So you said you're quite a poet. So obviously lyrics must come quite easily and freely for you. So do you go with the music first to then add the lyrics, or do you just get inspired while you're rounding about, or like you said, something that the Pope had said really got your brain ticking over?
Yeah, no, but it's easy. I think my singing's improved since I stopped playing guitar. Although Dave said his guitar playing's improved since he stopped singing the other day. But I think what it is, it becomes, then you just concentrate on what your particular talent or your particular skill is, or you feel is. And I think before, when I used to write songs or write guitar songs, I'd be thinking about riff, what comes first, what can go with that. And I think the beauty of the way, or the way that I certainly see it anyway, is that they've already in their heads, they're both very clever. They know how I operate and how I work. So they'll go off and do a piece of music, and they'll be structuring a song or a riff or something they've got done. I let them fight out who does what, and then I get what they've done together, and I'll say, well, I'll need 2 of those, I'll need 4 of those, or I'll need 8 of those, or that'll work for me to get what they're in. But now they're so good at it, they've already done it in 4s, 2s, and 8s, so it's quite easy. I think that's the verse, that's the pre-chorus, that's the chorus. So I'll hear it, and then I'll go with it. And as far as lyric writing goes, there'll generally be something on my mind. I mean, I literally, the other day they sent me this quite funky riff they've been working on, and I'd just been for a walk, and I just had this off the beaten track thing in my head, and I just thought it was like play on words off the beaten track, and about the journey, and how sometimes my wife had just taken me up this massive hill, and we just kept on going and going and going and going. It just never seemed to stop. It was like,
Take you up there to murder you by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
I'm done with it.
Yeah. So I just thought that it deserved a song, climbing this mountain. It's sort of symbolism of rock and roll and going around the beach.
The wife killed me.
How do we get there? So yeah, so that was kind of where that came from. The Nuns one I told you about, the Little Green-Eyed Monster, is about all, other bands just getting jealous, or jealous barmaids or whatever, saying stuff that, that's another story.
You have been in this industry for a long time. So like you said, in the 90s, you were still wanting to do all the classic rock stuff, but grunge, people love it or they hate it. Me, it's not my kind of thing. But do you think now, in this 21st century age, bands have it maybe a little bit easier, or do you think they have it a lot harder trying to get their work heard? Because Nicky Sixx said in an interview, he thinks it's a lot harder now because it's so easily available to put your music out there compared to the 80s and 90s, where you had to write it, tour it, pre-gig it, do all the pub rounds, if you want to call it that, first, before you then went out and did it. Do you think it's become easier or more difficult for artists?
Well, I mean, it depends. It's much easier to get stuff out now, and I think the world has changed. Spotify has changed how people listen to music, I feel sorry a little bit for people today not have that excitement of saving up money to go down the shop and go and get the single or whatever, and saving up your dinner money and just that crackle and groove before the song starts. I mean, that excitement. Yeah. I think if you could capture that at the concert, just that moment. You know, I always remember some of the great gigs I saw where, you know, like the curtain that go down, the lights that go down, and just suddenly the crowd just and that anticipation just before the first chord strikes up. And I think in some ways that's kind of gone. I think some bands are doing very well to try and bring that back, and that kind of that feeling of getting music out to people is very instant. So in some ways, yeah, anyone with a guitar and a phone, you know, can get their message, and if it gets followed by people, how serious it's taken. I think you have to thank the Arctic Monkeys for that. I think they changed by getting the popularity and using the internet to create that kind of so the record companies were left lagging behind, and suddenly, you know, they thought, well, you know, before they'd send an A&R guy out to kind of, you know, get your ears to the ground. It was taken. They had all the control, and so they could actually tell, well, we're going to do that, and we're going to have that. So they've got wise to that in a little bit effect, I think. So music itself is much more easily accessible. Is it harder to break through? Yeah, because there's so much of it. It's saturated. It's like TV channels. Back in the day, we would watch. You know, I'm growing up, and my kids laugh at me. I was with 3 channels. It was ITV, BBC Two, you know, and BBC One, and that was it. So if something came on the TV, like, you know, Morecambe and Wire, or whatever, everyone watched it, and everyone would be at school talking about it. And the same on Top of the Pops. On the Thursday night, your only access to was people miming, miming on Top of the Pops, you know. And then you go the next day, oh, do you see them on Top of the Pops? And that was your only kind of, or the chart show on a Sunday. People laughing. The cassettes we used to sort of kind of record the top and try and stop it before the DJ talks, which is not what you want to hear, but you just stop it so you could get, oh, I've got a top 5 and I've got no DJ talking on it at all, you know.
Yeah, my mum had quite a few of them when I was a kid, like where she would just like, I'd be listening to it, and then all of a sudden someone would just come along and go, eh. It was when she'd then press stop. It was quite clearly when she'd press stop. I mean, I'm from the age where music digitally started coming in, and the amount of viruses my poor computer had for me trying to download from LimeWire back in the day. But no, it's true. I even still had to save up my Christmas and my birthday money just so I could like buy my first album, with Bon Jovi album, obviously. Obviously it was Have a Nice Day, and that was the first album of theirs that I bought. And yeah, I don't think, because music is easily accessible, people don't have that, you know, that build up of anticipation and excitement, really, because it's just hits midnight and it's there, it's released, you know. That's the thing as well. I think when you get the anticipation of, oh, I'm going to go to a gig, and da, da, da. But because you tend to see what everybody else is, you know, especially with the Kiss tour, for example. Yeah, like, I mean, I'm guilty of it. I do take videos and stuff when I go, but it was just because I'd seen everybody else's photos as well. I didn't take nowhere near as much as what I thought I was going to, and I didn't call the wild either. I just lived in the moment. I just really enjoyed it.
Perfect. Yeah, that's what people. I really believe people should do that more. I said I went to a concert in Arizona with my son, and Jack White took all the phones, but basically they're putting this thing called, I don't know what it's called, Yodel or something, I don't know, but they had to put them in there. And if you want to make a phone call, you had to go outside, unlock it to make the call. Now, some people say, oh, who does he think he is? But I thought, no, for once, people had to be in the moment of what was going on. And it might almost be a case of it as people go forward and saying, look, please take this song, take your photographs now, this song, video this now, and then let it out. But you can't do that because everyone wants to have their little moment. Some people want to video the whole gig. And you're thinking, the best thing about the Iron Maiden gig actually was a lot of the front of the audience were sort of Argentinians, so people that followed them like everywhere they go. And there was no phones in the first sort of 30 weeks. Anyone else is getting batted around. I was thinking, that's what the audience used to be like, you know, down the front at Wembley, just jumping up and down. Yeah. And if you notice, there's not too much footage of Iron Maiden from the front of the stage. There's a few from the sides. There's not much from the front, you know.
Not at the front, no. I mean, that's another thing as well that I think is great, is the fact that, yes, Iron Maiden, love them or hate them, they're still around. Metallica, love them or hate them, they're still around. And the fact that it crosses generations. Do you think that's an important, as a, like, I haven't got any kids, I've got a dog, but as a father, do you think that's quite an important thing to
Totally. Oh, God, there's nothing more rewarding when I've taken my son. The first gig I ever took him to was Metallica in the rounds, and he loved it. And I've taken him to Slipknot, and he likes the heavier stuff, and he's a phenomenal guitarist in his own right, and he'll lead his own path and do his own thing. but to share that experience with him and to see bands where there are fathers, and even I remember James Hetfield picking out saying, there's a father there with his son took someone, and someone pointing around at me and saying, yeah, what about this guy here? And with me and my son, it was like, yeah, thanks. So, but I do, and I think we lose something in society if we don't. I think rock does it more than any other.
Yeah.
More than a genre of music, which I think is great, where it doesn't have to be about trending, it's about more about, you know, a shared experience of like rock. And it's like AC/DC with little kids with the horns on, if you want to go back. I mean,
I love it. I think it's so cute when you see them with the little horns on.
Yeah,
lovely.
glow in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why not? I mean, the most fun if you're genuine, you go to weddings, and I've DJed a lot of them when I was a party DJ. The fun of when grandpa gets up with their little kids and they're all dancing and doing dancing queen together and stuff, or whatever it might be. It's fun. You know, like, if you can do it with rock and with music where you can relate to it and you see that kind of, I think that's a really important point. And yeah, not just being a father. I don't think you have to be a father. I just think it's the more that we share and the more that we understand generations before us and generations below us, but the better society is. Generally, I think if we can have those little moments, it's like,
do you make of the fact that the BBC had Skindred on morning breakfast?
Brilliant. I love that. I was up with t-shirt up, giving it that. But they're great, isn't it great? Because it's good. For whatever reason, it's great.
Yeah, I just love the fact that, you know, it was like Skindred. They're a band that have been around for quite a long time. They've been for a long time, and now finally they are getting, whether you want to say it's via social media, because one of their songs went viral on TikTok or whatever it was. But we as a community, we've always loved them anyway, so it didn't really matter. But the fact they got on morning television was just a bit like,
yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, no, I love it. I
bet people love that.
yeah. First thing in the morning with your cornflakes. Let's go.
Let's go, helicopter. Love it. I thought it was amazing. It was brilliant. What would you like to say to your adoring fans out there? Because they really just they're just as mental as you are. Like, they definitely are. Especially the gorgeous. Yeah, everybody's like that, but especially the gorgeous Gina. She puts up with you guys so much.
She's a star. She's an absolute legend. She's my bestie. She's been around a long time. She's such a good heart, such a good soul, and she's been brilliant for me personally as well. I'm a massive fan of hers. What I want to say to people out there, I just go out and enjoy yourself. You know, as I said, we'll give it everything we've got, and time will tell whether we were doing it right. But just live in the moment, enjoy your moment. We're going to come out. Ransom, we're going to play everywhere. We're going to play about 90 gigs next year, plus 1 or 2 surprise festivals where people are going to go, what? And we'll see. We'll see. We're down at the HRH one in November.
Yes.
On the same day as Taiketo. So we'll do that one. We'll just be out and play everywhere. If you're in a pub, if you're anywhere, you want to come out for a good night, we will just. One thing this band does, every gig is Wembley, whether it's the Dog and Duck or Download or whatever. We put everything into every performance we do, and we just want you to entertain yourselves. Come and see us afterwards. No egos. We just have a laugh and have a beer with you. Well, or a Pepsi, or a glass of water. And
so that's strong water.
Strong water. EasyJet, strong water.
EasyJet, strong water.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. For 3 hour delays when you're on the ground. EasyJet. I never said that.
Your secret's safe with me. And
yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Matthew, for a very entertaining interview. It is great to be back chatting with you, and I wish you all the best with Ransom and Christmas and everything else.
Charlie Glamrat, you are an absolute legend. The industry needs more people like you. You're a very talented lady, and it's an absolute pleasure. I'm gigging tonight. I'm supposed to be getting ready to go for that, but the chance to have a chat with you was I couldn't turn that down. I hope I haven't bored you too much. And listen, if there are any radio stations out there or TV stations who want the best sort of what I would call rock chick in the business, I'll give this girl a call. She'll be there.
Oh, bless you.
She'll have her own show.
So much. Well, take care. Bye, my love. Mwah.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much to Matt for taking the time out to speak to little old me about nothing really. If you want to catch Ransom out and about, then make sure you follow him on socials. They're all down in the description below. And make sure you check me out as well over on Facebook, Instagram, you name it, you can find me. All the links are below. But please make sure that you tune in next week where I am talking to Connor from the heavy metal band Shadow Smile. But until next time, lots of love, Glamratters. Bye-bye.